Finally, sketchy internet, apologies. I think we're gonna have a connection now. The router's blinking, but it's blinking as it should. Anyhow, let's do take 2. We still have where is it? Where's the button? Alright, we've still got the test bench computer. Still got it set up. Should we do that or the bird's eye? We'll go with the birds for now. So we still have the test bench. We've got the power supply, the test bench, or the i7 4790K, the 128 gigs BAMSUN SSD. Got our RAM, motherboard, everything we need. There is no PC or what is it, M.2 SSD in here. That's just an adapter. It's not actually physically doing anything. The drive's not in it, but we do have it. That's for Mac hard drives, so pretty irrelevant. And finally, let's switch over to that. All right, and repair. I have what I need showing in repair. Oh, I forgot I set that up. Okay. So, that being said, let's start this up. Get our power button, bring it to life, hopefully. And, oh, one other thing before we do that, I almost forgot. Yesterday, during the video, the only thing that I did manage was to succeed in was when we flipped over to the LCD. We went to, I gotta find it now, give me a second here. Downloads, we used Rufus. So let's use Rufus Portable and make a drive quick. Alright, so here it has no label. It has our actual 32 gig USB stick. We're gonna select an ISO, and now this is the program Rufus. I used DD on the Linux side. This is what you can use on the Windows side. There's our Arch ISO. We don't need a persistence partition. We'll do MBR. We're just going to delete that and make that the label. FAT32 as our file system. Clusters. Yeah. Leave that as default quick format. One pass, and we're going to hit start and create a new one. But yes. Alright. And we're going to do this. Click yes, and we'll wait on that to write. That is actually getting our... We made one yesterday, but I did it with DD from the Linux side of things, so I figured I'd take a moment and do it with Rufus on here. Now there is another one. If I have a blank USB drive, I may take a moment and write and show you why I like it over Rufus, and it's called Yumi, I believe is the name of it. Alright, let me take a moment here and see what's on this drive, if anything important. And it appears that that has finished. What's new volume? Okay, so all this is this is just a firmware for my... Look at this drive. This is a sad, sad drive. Look at it. It used to be one of those two, like little 2-in-1 slider. You would slide out which side you wanted, either the micro USB side or the USB 3 style A connector. Sad, sad venture. Okay, so we made our arch image, and I don't mind using Rufus. However, one that I much prefer over Rufus is called Yumi, and I'm going to take a moment and plug this in, and let's go and find Yumi. We have it here. Let's close that. That is our drive. Downloads, we'll search for Yumi. There it is. Run as admin. And there are limitations to this one and what you can do with it. But the feature that I like about it is this. We're going to use this 14 gig. We're going to select a distribution. We're going to format it as FAT32. And then let's find our arch. We'll make another one here, but then we're going to go one step further after arch. Dang, where is arch? Oh, I looked right past it. Alright, let's browse to it. Go to downloads. There's our ISO. We're going to click create. Hit yes. Let it do its thing, and this will only take a moment. Now the good part about this is after you make your Linux installer, you can add more. Now granted, you could probably do it, I don't think you could do it with Rufus. You can maybe do it manually if you're crafty with a terminal. But just doing it from the Windows side and being able to run this, you can add other distros to it. It's not quite as fast as Rufus, but it still works regardless. That's the good thing about it. So we'll give that a minute to copy over. Alright, just about done. Looks like it's copying. And we don't have to finish what we start here, but I'll at least take a moment and show you why it's good, what I like about it. Alright, so we're going to hit next, and then it gives you this option. Would you like to add more ISOs, distros now on it? So let's click yes. So we can actually take and going to reformat it. We don't want to wipe it out. We're just simply adding to it. So let's go down. Let's see if we can find, what would it be called? Manjaro? Did Manjaro make the list? Yes, and I should have an ISO for that. Let's take a look in downloads and see. Manjaro, no. Let's click open. And we click that, and it just adds that to the list as well. This is a little bit bigger file. We are running on USB 3 with a USB 3 flash drive, so it shouldn't take super long. But you know, 45 seconds of dead air would be 45 seconds of dead air. And that's never the goal. And that 45 just jumped up to 2 minutes 30 seconds. What is it? 1.7. So what? Roughly 1, 2, 12. Like 2, maybe 3 times the size of the Arch Linux distro. So anyhow, that program there, that's the reason that I like Yumi over Rufus for creating live USB installers. Not only that, you can do it. You can use like I said, a Hiren's boot CD, Kaspersky Rescue CD, the Ultimate Boot CD if that's still around, PC Login Now version 2.0 for getting around passwords on older Windows computers or local. I don't know if it works on a Windows 10 local account, possibly. Oafcrack, any of the other utilities. When you use Yumi, it just throws that option right up in your face. Would you, after it finishes one, do you want to add more now? So that's why I really Really dig that. Anyhow, we're going to get started. This is take 2. We're going to see if we can succeed. Can we take this and install? While we're waiting on this to finish copying, I'm going to hop over into the actual, what do I want to call it? Device default, we'll do that. Let's do custom. What's a good resolution I'll be able to read? 1366. Why are you not accepting my keyboard input? By what, 768? We'll try that. We'll see if I just tried to make the actual terminal screen what this is connected to. It's connected to OBS over HDMI, so we'll see if we can get that to work. When you do make a USB, like a live USB installer with Yumi, it does set it up kind of goofy. It may not, and I'll show you. We're actually going to boot to it. It is about done. I'll try and burn a little more time. I do have a few things I can do till we get started on that. Is this thing off? It is off. Perfect. Let's take a moment and start working on throwing the hard drive back in the caddy. Alright, about 60 seconds, allegedly. That's what it's claiming. Let's throw that up. Probably not going to beat it, but we'll try. How many screws can be put in before this finishes? Or not likely. And got it. Alright, got the screws in before that actually finished, so there we go. We'll let it finish doing that, and let's get ready and boot to it. So now we're going to say next, and we've successfully added Arch. Let's just hit no, because we're done. We'll click finish. Now where you can run into problems is when you want to start adding like different versions of the same Linux distribution, or 32, 64-bit, or multiple versions of Windows. That's where you run into issues. So we have that plugged in. Let's go ahead and turn on the repair. Well, first I guess we'll power on. Possibly. Power on. We got fan spin. Now let's go to the repair, and we're going to try for F12. Yeah, I think we're going to have to go with device default. It doesn't want to show anything. Device default. Let's hit OK. Alright, so there is our boot screen. Samsung, or we'll go with the SanDisk drive. And when it boots up, here we are at the multi-boot USB, the one we created with Yumi. So we can continue to boot from the first hard drive if you have an OS installed from that, or under Linux distributions here. And it looks like we have Arch and Manjaro. I mean, they're easy enough to they're easy enough to download and create one of these with the software. But say you wanted a tool like a bootable USB that had multiple tools for doing different things, because anybody that does any of this knows one piece of software doesn't do everything. That's where that's useful, adding multiple ISOs to one drive. Anyhow, is it there? There it is. So let's go ahead and boot into Arch. And failed to load Psalm 32 file boot syslinux. Yeah, okay. So, one of the downsides. When you start adding multiple distros, you may run into issues with them actually booting. Let's do a reset, and we're gonna use the other one we made, and that's 100% why I made it, in case the one failed. Samsung flash drive, let's go to it. Alright, Arch, see if this works this time, hopefully. We're gonna try and run through this. I did go and read that they had to refresh, to get a refresher course on this. It's been years since I attempted to do something like install from command line, but we're gonna see what we can do, see if we can have some fun with it, starting where we did yesterday. Alright, let's take a look here. We have our drive. It's got the sketchy setup on it, but we're not worried about that. We're redoing it from scratch now. So that being said, the first place that we need to start would be with the how do I say it? Partitioning hard drive. So we're not going to use fdisk. We're actually going to use cfdisk, just because it is something that I understand much more. We'll go with it. You can see our drive there is actually, okay, so I did format it. So what we want to do is create a new partition. Size is 128 gigs roughly, 119.2. We're going to hit new, hit enter. The size of this one we're going to make our root partition. We'll make it, what do we want to make it? We'll make it 10. 10.0 G, so 10 gigabytes. Is that too big, I wonder? Do we need 10 gigs for the root? Or should we go more? I'm just trying to think what like Ubuntu and stuff does. You know what, it's not going to be a great system, but we'll go with 20.0 G. Do that, and then we want to select its type, make sure that it is Linux file system, and leave it there. We're going to go down to our free space at the top there, and we need to go over to new. So we're going to do new. We're going to do a 2 gigabyte partition, 2.0 G. That is going to be our swap. So let's go to type, and we're going to make it Linux swap. One other thing, let's go down to our free space at the top. We're going to hit new. We're going to use the remaining size left, and then can we toggle this bootable or no? Let's write it out. Yes. Alright, changes written out. Looking at them, can we toggle a bootable flag on dev SDA? Let's delete it and make a new partition. What is that? 20 gigs. Alright, 20. Alright, yeah. Let's just write those changes as is. And it doesn't give us the option for bootable, so we'll hit write. Yes. Alright, next thing we want to do after we write those changes, let's take a look over just to be sure. We have our Linux file system, we have our swap, and then we have our home partition. So after we wrote the changes, we're good to go ahead and quit. We're going to hit quit. We're back at our terminal. First thing, mk is make, so we want make fs.ext4. And first, before we do that, let's find our drive. LSB, okay. This is horrible. I can't see any of this. Yet again, we're going to blow it up. So it is indeed SDA. So SDA1 and SDA3, we're going to make both of those. ext4 slash dev slash SDA1. Yes. And then next would be MK, you know what? Let's just hit the up arrow. We want SDA3. And then that creates it. Next thing is MKSWAP, so make swap space slash dev slash SDA2 is our, if you look up a little bit toward the top of the window, you can see the swap partition. That's our 2 gig swap partition. I don't think it's that important these days. And then we want to make, oh yeah, not make, sorry. We want swap on, same thing, slash dev slash SDA2. Did I do that? Spelled it right. I can actually see it. Alright. This is where I think I skipped out on part of this yesterday. I think I did mount the, excuse me, the root partition, but not the home. So what we're going to do that over. We're going to say mount space slash dev slash SDA1 space slash MNT is the mount. We want to make a mount point on device SDA1. After that, you want to make a directory, mkdir space, and where we want that directory, what it is, we're making the home directory under MNT, the mount point. So we're going to do make directory space slash MNT slash home. And finally, we have to mount that home partition. So we're going to put mount. Can anybody guess how we're going to do this? Let's take a look up, see where we did the mount. Dev SDA1, and we did mount slash dev slash SDA1 to mount, 2 lines up from where I'm typing. We want to do the same thing with home, but we need to remember to change to the actual home partition for our dev slash SDA. So we're going to do mount space slash device or dev slash SDA3, and we want to send that to space slash MNT slash home. Did we make directory mount? Yes, we did make directory mount home, just so we're not getting lost here. What did I type there? Did I type something extra? I may have. It's gonna yell at me. Okay, so it's already mounted. Don't need to do it. Alright. Another thing you could do now, and I did this in the past, but I guess you don't you don't necessarily have to do it. It's not 100% necessary. I wouldn't even say that it's necessary at all, because you could just leave the default file there and it'll work out okay. It just may tend to be a little slower. So hopping back to our Arch Linux install, we're going to take a look. Nano is my favorite tool. I think other people use VI, but I actually prefer Nano, like I said yesterday. So we're going to hit Nano, and what we want to look at is the Pacman mirror list. What the mirror list is where you get, it's like the repositories where you download stuff from. The location of that, let me see if I got this in one go. Pacman space slash, then I get slash etc slash pacman.d slash mirrorlist. And after you hit enter, it brings up the actual file of the mirror list. Page up and page down will move you through the file, or you can just hit the up and down arrow to go. Oh, where's my cursor? Have I lost my mind? Alright, so there's the cursor. There, we're using the up arrow to go back up through it, but I'm going to skip it and go just with page up, page down. What this is you could come in and any of these mirrors that are not local to you, you could actually take and throw, I gotta find the cursor first, we're going to take it all the way to the top. Alright. So let's go page down to the bottom and go up to where we can actually see it moving. There's our cursor. What you would do is you would place your cursor at the beginning. If you wanted to, say we wanted to exclude, just take your pick, not picking on any country here. Say we wanted to exclude Australia. That particular mirror there in Australia, you're just going to put the # ahead of it, and that once it's commented out, it disables it. I'm actually going to delete it and try not to type too much. You could go through and exclude any you wanted and only use US and Canada, or maybe only ones for your country if you happen to be in another country. And you're going to find this is true with a lot of configuration files in Linux. Like, this is how you're going to make changes. Not for all, but a lot of stuff it's the information will have the # or double # in front of it, and when you want to disable it, you'll put a # at the beginning of that line, or you'll take one away if it's by default something that you want to enable. You would take it away. I just wanted to check to see that the mirror list was here and looking good, so we're going to hit Control-O to write out the changes, even though I didn't make any. It's there, and then we're going to hit Control-X to exit out. We're back at our command prompt. So that is how you would modify the Pacman mirror list. Like I said, modifying it is only going to help if, how do I want to say this? It may make it a little faster overall, because it's not going to check through all those mirrors. Beyond that, we're ready to start installing. So we're going to, this is where we're going to use the command pacstrap space /mnt space base space BASE dash DEVEL. So pacstrap space /mnt base development. So what this is going to do is install our default packages. We're going to make sure that our Ethernet is plugged in. One thing we could do before we do this to see that we have internet, and this is assuming you do if you're plugged into Ethernet. If you're using Wi-Fi, you're really gonna not run into a problem. There's easy ways to connect Wi-Fi just for. Let's actually delete, and we'll show that there are ways to connect Wi-Fi, like to connect it for the actual install. I'm trying to think. One of those ways is with Wi-Fi menu, and I'm trying to think the other way you could do it. With NetCTL is another way you could do it. It's not. I mean, none of it's easy, but whatever. It's Wi-Fi menu is probably your easiest one. I think we can do IPADDR. What is that? Correct. Did I put an A in there? IPAD. Why did that not work? How do you get IP address? Let me think of the command for a moment. If I have to, I'll look it up. Is it IP? How do you check for your actual internet? I'm a moron. Just Control C takes us back to our command prompt. So IP space ADDR. Okay, so looking here, we can see that link loopback with 127.0.0.1, and then ENP2SO. We have a 10.1.10.6.3 IP address there, so we actually do have internet. Another way, if you don't want to do the IP space ADDR IP address, that you can check is just do like ping space -c space 3 www.google.com, and let's see if it works. If you get something back that looks like that, it means you got working internet. Being that we have working internet, let's go ahead and move on and go back to our pack strap space /MNT BASE space BASE-DEVEL and hit enter. Alright, core, extra community, and there are other places that we're going to add later on, like other repositories. Right now, it's just saying these packages, 155, it's got to download them. And this is where let me reset the window so you can actually see the whole window. Reset transform, and that is what it looks like right there. This on the right, bottom right, just gives you progress, like the progress of what package is being downloaded. On the left, you can see what package, and we got to go through this whole list here. We could have added some other stuff in, like with the packstrap command. However, I mean, I don't know, could you? Maybe, but I've never tried it. I always do it later on, either after this part's done with the chroot or after the install's done and we actually boot into the installed system. So yeah, it's gonna be a little bit here. I'm trying to think, what can we do till then while that is ticking along its path. Total download size, total installed size. So it's downloading what, 330 megs. Let it go for a couple minutes. We had that apart. One thing we're gonna check if it's on or not. All right, the computer is on, and we need to shut it down. Shut down anyway. Lose all that data. let's do a little swinging with our Super Sony camera. It's probably gonna look horrible, but such it is. Times like this, we're just the hard drive I put in, we got to throw this back into the case, and then we have a data backup to restore to this. So while Linux is installing, we're going to hop on to a few other things. That's what we're down here doing, burning some of that precious oil that you can only burn at nighttime. Can't burn it in the day, just at night. I remember this being a bloody nightmare to get out. So what is that? What is that, and where do you go? Where do you come? You come from a CD drive. We'll find a place to plug you in later. Right now I'm just worried about putting this thing back in here. Get out of the way, cables. Alright, hard drive is... How many screws are up there? None? Alright, hard drive successfully. The cage went back in. Nothing, no big deal. We are plugged in back there. We need to add this back to the back of this HP media bay, which is... You get... Oh, what is it? You get a DC jack. Who knows what voltage looks like? What, 12 volts? The yellow wire would be 12, I think. And then your USB 2.0 port, old style, like USB 2.0 printer style port, which was common for printers. I guess some hard drives had them. I didn't see it a whole lot. And after we get this together, we're gonna power this thing on and see what the status is. Alright, and it's running. That being said, let's swing our Super Sony back. Alright, where's the BAM sun? I see it. And let's check on our Arch install. See, it's still going a little bit. Now, real world, real results, real person. If you did take this on, this is what you're probably going to expect. You know, and do you have to install the base development packages? No, it adds more to it, time-wise, and adds more packages, definitely. You know, add more time, more packages, and I think there's a lot of useful stuff there. And believe it or not, our computer that we just fixed, a little off topic from an Arch Linux install, but it's doing its awesome blue screen thing. How do you get across to people that bring you in like a 10-year-old computer that's dead, that it's not, after you get across that it's not worth fixing? And then how do you get across even beyond that? Like, they're like, oh, I'll bring my other computer in. They bring you one in that's like 13 years old, that they want their data from the 10-year-old computer put onto the 13-year-old computer. Like, how do you just refuse? Do you refuse service? Like, I'm sorry, I can't work on your crap. That's not nice. When this computer, I mean, it boots, but it's sketchy at points. Not this one. This one over there, that big desktop we just put a hard drive in. It does a couple blue screens, and then it does like an automatic repair and blue screens again. Eventually, it may make it to a desktop. I'm guessing the life expectancy of it and it actually functioning and working is going to decrease dramatically, because it's an old motherboard. It's even older than the first one they bought in, but they're determined. They said it works. I'll put a little time into trying to get it work properly, but I really don't think that it works the way they think it works. Alright, let's take a moment, for a coffee break. And I know, wise decision holding it over a running test bench computer. Okay. So yeah, that coffee was good. Let's get some more. All right, so we're back at a standstill where we need to proceed. So let's cover what we did. So far along, this is everything that we did. We did CF disk to partition the disk the way we wanted it. We changed the file systems from Linux, I think ext3 over to ext4 for our root and our home partition. We made our swap partition and turned it on. We made our directories like the /mount and then /mount home, which home is mounted under mount. We made that directory and then actually mounted it. We checked on our Pacman mirror list. We installed the base and base development packages. Beyond that, we need to the next step is, I think, file system table system file. So however you want to say it. I'm not here to speech it right. I'm just here to type. So, you know, I only work here from time to time. Volunteer. It's all volunteer work. They pay me with peanuts and coffee. Black gloves. Lots of black gloves. I get paid. It's true. Black gloves are useful on a flat earth. Anyhow. I forgot what that tangent. Oh, we're doing the... Oh boy, give me one moment. The boss is calling. I got a boss. That was my call. You're doing good. Don't give up, kid. You should come home and sleep though. Call. So we're gonna try and wrap this up quicker than yesterday. We're really 42. Okay, we're at 42. So it's been running for a bit. All right, file system table. So let me make this big again so everybody can see and they're not like squinting their eyes off. Grab the wrong corner. Forgive me. Okay, we're gonna go gen fstab /mnt space double sideways caret. So gen fstab space /mnt space double caret space /mnt /etc /fstab fstab. What that's saying is we want to generate the fstab for mount. Or we're putting the system file table. I don't like using the goofy words. We're putting the system file table at mount /etc at the directory of mount etc, and then you'll find fstab under the etc. So the best I can explain it with my limited knowledge, we're going to go ahead and hit enter. Now we actually need to take and check that it was created. So to do that, just like we checked on the Pacman mirror list, we're going to hit nano or vi if you've used Linux before and you like vi as your editor. I just happen to prefer nano. I've had a couple people tell me in the past that if I actually used vi and got into it, or vi, I forget how they name it or call it, that I would like it better than nano, but I would just always preferred nano. So we're going to do nano space /mnt /etc /fstab fstab. Hit enter, and did I type that wrong? Let's exit out of that. Gen stub space slash mnt space double caret space slash mnt etc stub. So no, we did not generate one. Maybe we did. Let's try it. Or did I not? Okay, so it is there. Maybe I didn't hit enter the first time. So we're not changing it. It's there. We're going to go ahead and hit Control X to exit out of that. At this point, this is where we're going to do the chroot thing. This was a goopy thing to wrap my head around the first time I learned it. Basically, I think I explained it best yesterday. Whenever I said that you're changing, like, we're working in root, basically administrator privileges, doing this install on the BAMSUN SSD. Well, right now we're working from the USB drive here that we created, installing from our install media to the hard drive. We have root privileges, and we've been working from this in a terminal to install to this. Now we're going to change from that scenario to actually working on the drive when we change the root. As far as I understand it, I could be totally wrong. There could be a super simple explanation. Maybe I said it wrong. I don't know. That's merely how I understood it when it was explained to me. So maybe I got it wrong. Maybe the person explained to me had it wrong. I'm just repeating what I heard many years ago. Let's hop back to the repair. So we need to do arch-chroot. And that's what the chroot is change root, arch-chroot space slash mnt. Alright. While we're in here, we need to create a root password. I guess you could make your password root, but I wouldn't do it. Maybe it won't allow it. I don't know. I never do that. But to do that, we simply type passwd. After we hit enter, it's going to ask us for a password, so I'm going to take my time to carefully type this. Again, as I'm typing on the keyboard, right, you're not going to see any output in the terminal as happens with Linux distros. You'll see no output. So I'm going to go ahead and take time to type it carefully, then hit enter. And it wants me to repeat my password. And if you're doing this, you would repeat your password. If they match, password updated successfully. If they don't, you'll be forced to do it again. Alright, now we get to do some fun. Before we actually set up our time zone and locales, we need to, how do I want to say it? We need to look, if you're not familiar with this. So let's take, and right now what we're going to do, see if we can even get to it ahead of time. We're going to cd to /usr/ share / zone info, all one word. I think it's all one word. I hope it's not underscored or hyphenated. And then we're going to do ls once in that directory and take a look. Okay, so now we see a little bit of our zone info. We want to generate our locale, our location. The most fitting thing out of this list that you see here is going to be America, I would say, would probably be the best one. If you look 3 lines up to the far left, or is that 2 lines up, America. Directly under Africa beside Asia, which I guess is not true on a globe or a flat earth. America is definitely not under Africa or beside Asia, but it exists in Linux. let's do CD to America with a capital A to find out what. We'll get into that directory, and then we're going to hit LS to list it and see what closely resembles our location. We probably won't have... Is there a Philadelphia? No, there is not. There's no Philadelphia, no Pittsburgh. I don't even see like a New Jersey, but I do see a New York. So New York is probably the closest place to my actual location. So, just to get out of here and get back to where we need to be, we're going to hit CD space / MNT. We'll change back to mount, the mount point. Anytime you want to see what directory you're working in, see what info or other directory is there, just LS will list it. And there's nothing there. That's impossible. Alright, I'm lying. Anyhow, we're going to go nano space / etc / local e dot gen and hit enter. And we need to page down a little bit. We need EN if it's available. Where's EN? Okay. So, and remember what I said about uncommenting. So see these, if you're in America or wherever, or whatever, you want English as your language, like, and everything, you're going to want to move over and uncomment these two lines, the EN underscore US UTF-8 UTF-8, and then move down one, move over and uncomment the other EN underscore US ISO 8859-1. After that, when you're working in Nano and you make changes, you're done making changes, hold down Control, hit O, release. That is to write out. You have to hit enter. You can type a new name if you want. I usually never do. And then after you hit enter, Control X will exit you out of Nano back to your command prompt or terminal, whatever you want to call it, depending on what OS you're working on. After that's done, we want to generate the locales. That's going to be LOCALE, not the dot, locale dash gen, and hit enter. And so far so good, completed. This is a big long command. If I have to, I'm going to look it up. ln, we need to make a link space dash s. Is it a symbolic link? ln dash space / usr / share / zone info. And was zone info hyphenated? I really don't think it was. Info / now remember what we had to, when we changed directories up there, we went to America / and then after America we needed new underscore capital YORK, so New York, and then we want to hit a space / etc / LOCALTIME, local time, and that is our link. Actually, no, that's going to be wrong. Or would that be right? No, that's right, that's right. Let me read this. Okay, so we're making a link. Use share zone info America New York space etc local time. Should do it. Let's hit enter. And no error, it worked. Finally, we get to name our computer. we will call this one 4790K. Usually I just name them whatever the processor is, which creates a massive problem if I ever build two computers on the same network that have the same CPU. I've ran into that problem without even thinking about it. So, yeah. But I generally name them after the CPU. We're going to set up the host name of the computer or the name of the computer. So we want to do echo. What did I say? 4790K. $47.90K space sideways caret space / etc / host name. After that, we need to download, and let me think, what else is there? Because I feel like I'm skipping a bit. No, I don't think so. I feel like I'm skipping a whole bunch. Heck with it, we're doing it. Alright, time for Pac-Man. This is fun. No, not the game. Pac-Man. We did a little bit with this yesterday. Pac-Man is the package manager. When you want to use Pac-Man to install something, you're going to do Pac-Man -S to install. And then we will install grub. And I wonder if there's much more to it. Grub or grub BIOS? You know what? Let's go over to the Google machine and actually look this up. Actually take a peek. I think there should be a dash here. Okay, so yeah, I do believe it is grub BIOS. I don't even know if it would get it. Let's do the grub -BIOS. This is probably the fall off point where I lose it all. Save me, help me, help me. Yes. Install. We're back to the little command prompt. We need to, after we downloaded the package grub BIOS. Now we need to actually install it to the hard drive. So we're going to do grub -install. And what grub is your bootloader, like what manages when you boot up. If you want to install different distros or like Windows, Linux, and Mac to the same hard drive, if you're doing like a Hackintosh, Linux, and Windows, like a triple boot or a quad boot, some people have pushed the limits, I think, and have gotten, I don't know how many. I'm going to say 10, maybe that's stretching the truth. But regardless, grub is what would handle something like that. If you had multiple operating systems on the same hard drive, or even different hard drives, I think grub may be able to go out and boot to another hard drive for you. So grub -install space / and now we need, does anybody remember what our hard drive is? Device /dev /sd A. Oh, one too many. dev/sda. Now, if you were thinking 1 or 2 or 3 on the end of that, you're thinking of an actual partition. Remember, SDA1 is our root partition, SDA2 is the swap, and then SDA3 is our actual home partition for our user. SDA is the actual hard drive in its entirety. That's where you want grub to install to. So we'll hit enter. Okay, what did I do? Grub install warning. This GPT partition label contains no BIOS boot partition. Embedding won't be possible. Grub install warning. Embedding is not possible. Bro, it can be installed to the setup by using block list. Unreadable by the use. This get blah blah blah. Will not proceed. Okay, so it's a GPT drive. So we need grub-efi. So let's we gotta fix this. So before we can proceed forward, as far as I know, I haven't had to uninstall any programs. Let's go ahead and do pacman space dash r space grub dash BIOS. Oh, how do you remove with pacman? How do you remove? It's been a minute. How the hell do you remove with pacman? To remove, okay, I thought so. So where did I go wrong with that? Pacman space dash r grub BIOS. What did it actually install? Grub. Okay, let's try that. So let's do pacman space dash capital R space grub. What is it taking out? Hopefully just, yeah, okay, just the grub installed. So yes, we want to remove that. Okay, that's thrown me for a loop there. Like seriously, like why did dash R not uninstall? Did they change the whole way? Did they change the whole way Pac-Man worked? Like, hopefully not. Alright, so doing this over Pac-Man space dash S to install space grub dash EFI. What did I do wrong? No, Pac-Man dash grub. Is that not the package? I may actually have a problem. We may not be booting back to this. Did I really make the drive GPT? Yeah, apparently so, according to the terminal. Okay, so we need grub and EFI boot manager. Alright, we're trying something new here today, people. I actually have to look this up. I've never did the EFI, like the GPT and EFI route. So if it fails, it's gonna fail massively. So like I said, let's go back. Pacman dash S grub and then EFI. Actually, I have to stop and read now. EFI boot BOOTMGR, I think is the name of it. Let's try it. Yes. Let those install. We not just have a normal computer. Alright, follow the below steps to install grub. Mount the EFI system partition. We were moving along pretty good. Okay. Slash EFI. Okay. So we got to do this all over. See, here's what I'm asking myself. I'm learning something new on the fly right now. Do I really want to start it over? Like all over after doing all that? Do I just go, I've never done grub, like the GPT disk with EFI. The board and hardware is capable of it, but I just normally go with MBR. Like, do I bail or do I try and fail again? I doubt there's an easy solution. I'm seriously considering bailing on this. Like, it's way. What about Grub 2? Is that possible? Is that a thing? Is it a thing? Pac-Man space dash S. I was gonna say, I didn't think it was actually a thing. Like, I'm looking through a couple search results here now. So let's do a search for that. Package, if we, yeah. And it just redirects you back to Grub when you look up Grub 2. Okay. See, here's what I'm looking over. This, I pulled this up. This, well, installing Grub is easy, but installing it for UFI is also probably easy, but not when you've never done it. And making note of, so we did that and that. With its mount point. Yeah. Alright. I've been beaten. Damn it. You damn GPT disk. Damn GPT. We're bailing completely on it. So failure on take 2. Failure on take 2. Let's pull these lines, pull our disk, and see how quick I can type back through all this. I don't even believe it. I don't believe it at all. Why would I use GPT on a 128 gigabyte disk? I guess I didn't even think about that. So there's the brick wall. Something that I haven't learned that I should probably learn if I want to do it. Maybe it's easier than it sounds like. It's freaking terrifying. Perfect. Alright, so provided you didn't do this with a GPT disk, oh hey. you should be alright. But if you did, that's where the massive problem that I'm having is at. I just had to wipe out everything I did, and I'm giving it a go, but I'm not going to talk. I'm just simply going to type. Okay. Anyhow, I wonder if my friend Brandon, he wanted to talk. Is he around? Possibly. Have a chit chat. So boot it. We have an MBR drive now. I'm cracking back through this as fast as possible. We're going to sit here and type like a lunatic. So feel free to watch. I'm going to send a message to my friend to see. I don't know if he wanted to chat or not. Maybe that would be interesting. Probably not as interesting as I'm thinking. But I had to bail on it. I could not waste an exorbitant amount of time trying to bash my way through a learning something that is just nope. So we're closing all those out. It's not beneficial to us in the least bit. Let's go back to the live dashboard. Anybody that may be watching this, sorry if I lost you. I really should. Hey, wait a minute. It's at the top of the window where you can't see it, dummy. Alright. Reset it. Alright, let's start again. We're going to go crazy on this one. Alright. First one. And what did I say it is? It is new 20.0 G. Oh. Maybe I should delete all that. Primary. And we want to make it bootable. Right? Right. Okay. That's why we weren't getting the bootable flag, and it just wasn't there. And then we want to make a 2 gigabyte, if possible. Or yeah, go down to free space, hit new. Let's delete it. Hit 2.0 gigabyte. Primary. And then the rest of our free space we want new. Using that up. Primary. Let's go up to this one. Our type, it is Linux. Down to the next one. Type is going to be swap. Down to the next one. Type is 83 Linux. Let's write these changes out. So I have to type yes. Yes. Alright. Did it do it? Are you done? Alright. Make FS. This is where I gotta drag it out. Yes. Where are you at? Adam, where are you at? Are you on my Facebook or are you on the DT one? Because if you're on mine, I can't reply. If you're on the DT Computers Facebook page, I can reply and chat. Regardless, yeah. So fixing that old computer, yes, it does happen a lot. And then running up against a wall that you've never ran into before, that happens a lot too. I think that's big enough that anybody should be able to read it. Make fs.ext for space /dev /s sda 1. Yes. Make fs.ext for space /dev /sda 3. Yes. Maybe. And I suppose maybe I'm doing this over twice in a row and I don't even need to or do it now that I think about it, but hey, we're going for it. Are you really throwing extra characters in there at me? I'm not checking the mirror list. We have that. We're going to go ahead and do pack. Alright, we're at least back to something that's like, oh, possibly salvageable. Possibly salvageable. You're on my Facebook? Yeah, if you're there, bud, you got, jump over to DT Computers and Electronics Facebook page, and if you pick up from there watching the video, I can actually type back in chat. I think mine, let me look. Yeah, I can read only on mine, but I can actually reply back with typing. Say, hello Adam, you're out there. Alright, stressful life. That's what you do when you burn that midnight oil. You do screwy stuff. You run up against the ball, you chicken out. You're right there playing chicken. You're about to win the game, but you turn your car before the other guy turns, or your bike, or your skateboard, whatever. Even walking. Like, think about all the maniacs playing chicken on the sidewalks in New York, right? Do you get out of the way before the other guy gets out of your way? Maybe. Alright, so we have all these packages to let that rip through for a moment. I'm trying to think. Beneficial. What can we do now? For the time, I know what we'll do for a couple minutes. We'll start, how do I want to say it? How could I say it? We'll start tearing this, what is this thing, an Acer down. I just want to check the fan, make sure it's clean. And while our arch install is done for the third time, hey, 2 streams, 3 tries, not bad. I got out of this shit just because it was too time consuming to manage all the time, I guess. I mean, not really, call me lazy. You know, call me what you want, I don't care. We'll tackle GPT and EFI another day with Arch Linux. I think I'll try it with a distro first. I'll be the lazy, non-learning Linux guy. And Adam, by the way, if you're still here, still listening, I do have a CPU clamshell that will fit your A8 if you need it, so just stop down and get it. I do have one. And where are we at? Go back to the repair, let that go through, that way I can catch it. Alright, let's bring the Super Sony over here, right in my face. Oh wow. It's not going to look great, but we can at least get it on screen. You know, like, what is that? Get out of the way. We're going to have to flip back over that periodically. I don't have a way to monitor it. We're running it direct into OBS. So we're going to start tearing this thing down in order to get a look, make sure the fan's clean. It's not that old, so there should be literally no dirt in this. And let me tell you, this guy, this has never been reloaded till today. And this dude, he had the most bogus Windows operating system load from the factory that I've ever dealt with. Like, it was so screwy, unbelievable. The condition of the Windows operating system for this one, it was just, yeah, completely horrible. Like, never saw nothing like it. Computer literally did, like, it would barely run. It took forever to boot into the operating system. Everything. And even in there, when you would click on something, just took forever. There were no programs installed. He said it was like that since day one. When he turned it on, he never used it. So something was not installed right, or maybe something got corrupted. A file got corrupted in the install. But it just straight out refused to work with any amount of speed whatsoever. Did a simple, just format the drive and reinstall Windows 10, and it picked up his product key, and it's two different computers. Anybody, I can liken it to anyone that has ever went from a spinning mechanical hard drive over to an SSD. That was the difference, literally. With the install that was on this earlier today, you would click and wait for everything. No programs installed, no malware. Did suffer through a couple scans in the time they took, and it was just, there was nothing. There was no hope for it. And then doing the reinstall, like I said, it was so much quicker. It worked like computers should. So we're going to go in and just check the fan, check the thermal paste. If this thing ever sat on for any amount of time, and likely it did with how he was using it, like click and wait, thermal paste could be dried out a little, so we'll change that up for him while we're at it. But yeah, just unreal difference in how this thing works. Like, I thought it was, ran tests on the hard drive, ran many scans, found nothing. Like, went through a great amount of work just to try and find something. There was nothing. It was nothing even installed. One little reinstall, like 20 minutes, got it back up to a working desktop environment on a laptop, whatever, working computer environment, Windows environment, and boom, whole new computer. No click and wait, no games, no nothing. So I'm gonna blame it on a bunk, bogus, fake ass, worthless load from the factory. I can't say, or possibly a corrupted file. But what could you corrupt? I couldn't find anything wrong with the file system, with the registry, nothing. And the simple little reload fixed it all. I'm just going to say a bad load from the factory. Is it possible? Has it happened in the past? I'm sure. We'll take out these last 2 or 3 screws and peek back in on our Arch install. Alright, let's see what's happening over here. And we're back. Alright, so what did we just do? We did the pack strap command. It's great. Gen F stub space slash MNT space double caret. Nope. Alright, now we did this last time. And then that appeared. Why did it take two? I don't understand it. No big deal. Alright. Moving on. Trying to catch back up to where we were. Do they match? They indeed do match. That password. Okay, and set up your time zone and locales. Did I pass it? Indeed I did. Alright, let's find English US. Control O, enter Control X. Moving on. Now, LOCALE-gen. Correct? Yes, gen. I think that's Zone America New York space slash etc slash local time. Change directory to user share. Just to check it, ls, yeah, okay. And where do we want to go? I don't think we need to go back to mount. Go 4790K, capital. A greater than caret. And this is the wall that I think we hit inevitably. Let's do pacman space dash s grub. We're gonna hit yes. Alright, once done, we need grub. Dev slash SDA. Remember SDA, not SDA 1, 2, or 3, just SDA. You install grub to the hard drive itself. i386 PC platform. Shouldn't it be x86-64? Where did I screw up? I screwed something up. Anyhow, there's that. At this point, what can we do? What's next? I guess we could need to unmount is one thing. I don't even know if this command mk init, I don't even know if this works anymore. Mk init cpio space dash p space linux. Is that right? Does this even work? I thought they AIC94 and WD719X. Yeah, whatever. I thought that was deprecated. Maybe not. Generate our grub configuration. Alright, now we're generating the configuration file for our bootloader. So grub space, not space, dash mk, which is make, config, space dash o, space slash, and where we want it to go would be slash boot slash grub slash grub.cfg, grub config. We got that. At this point, we're going to leave chroot by typing exit. Now we did that up a little bit. Now we're back at root working as root on the USB drive. How could I do this? We want to unmount. Actually, if we have internet, it shouldn't be too hard, hopefully. Let's do umount for unmount slash mnt slash home. And then umount space slash mnt. Right? Right. Alright. At this point, we're going to click reboot now. I don't know if you need reboot or need the now, but we're just going to put reboot now and shut the system down. We will transform and reset and get a full screen and let our newly installed Arch Linux system on this over here. We will let it boot up, hopefully. Alright, now what is that? Oh, don't do it. EFI default loader. What is this crap? Control Alt delete. We're going to pull our flash drive. Let's see what happens. And there's our Linux system. Let's go ahead and boot to that. Come on, Intel. I believe in you. Spin. Alright, and there we have it. After we reboot, we need to log in. We still don't have a user other than root, so we're going to type root, and then we're going to type our root password. Hit enter. We're root at our 4790K, so we're actually working on our Linux system right now. We don't have anything displayed, like no display yet. There's still a little bit more to go to get to a working environment, but you have a fully. Here, let's move this over. This, even though not in a case. Actually, I think it goes like that. Yeah, even though not in a case. Okay. We're running from this system right here now. You know, we got our 4790K, 16 gigs of RAM. unless I screwed something up massively. The Bamsun SSD, our Rosewill 700 or 750 watt power supply, gigabyte motherboard, all good. Just test bench hardware. We actually have a case that we're going to put it into, and we'll do that in a later video. But we are working from our installed Arch operating system. So far, so good. Now that we're here, let's try IP ADDR and see what our IP address is. Okay, and that's pretty small. I can't really see. Let me make this bigger for the time being. So we do have the internet thing there. However, we did the reboot. Let's see if this is going to work from here on out. See, SYSTEM, so system CTL. Start. System CTL start. And I gotta make that bigger. I can't go with that small font. CTL start. DHCP CD. This is basically starting up a system service, and then SYSTEMCTL system control enable DHCP-CD, and after we do that, let's do the IP ADDR again, and bam, we should have 10.1.10.6.3 IP address up about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines up from where I'm typing. Now that we have that, we're going to do user user add dash user add dash m dash g space users dash g. Wheel is root, I believe. This going by what I was told and what I've read, that's a combination of all this. /bin /bin/bash space and my username, different than the computer name. Did I hit the Control C to get out of that? We're going to add the same thing and take out that slash. And there we go. Up arrow, do that. Next thing, we need a password for our username. So let's do PASSWD for my username. And the password, we're going to have to type that twice without actually having any output. Password updated successfully. So we've made it there. The next thing, we need to go into the Pacman configuration file. In all these steps, I mean, they're not 100% for you got to do it in this order only. Some of them are. If you ever actually want to try and build your own guide or what you think is necessary, there's an install list of things to do, and then post install they're recommended, and anything beyond that you can take stuff out, add it in, but there, you know, that's up to you, the user, to decide to build your own system. But there definitely are steps to follow for the install, and then for the post install, like it's fudgeable on the post install. But now we're going to go in and do our Pacman. Sorry, we're going to edit our Pacman configuration for the mirror list. Nano space /etc/pacman. Is it Pacman slash or no? No. What is it? Oh. It's not slash, it's pacman.conf. There we go. Okay, Pacman configuration file. We need to go down. We're going to uncomment or include multi-lib. So we got to go down through and find this. All right, testing. Hold on, I have to reset the transform and drag it to the top so I can actually see what the heck's going on here. Okay, so there's our multi-lib. We actually want to go back up a few spaces, and we're going to uncomment the include multi-lib. I don't want to do the testing. That's a little bit more bleeding edge than I would want. So you can see, looking here, we have the multi-lib, and try where the cursor's at, and then on up. These are still commented, but community is not, extra is not, core is not. So let's go down. We're going to uncomment multi-lib and the line under it for include, and then one step further, we're going to add our own custom. We got to add a few lines. We're going to add it down here. So doing this, we need that up. Let's go down one further. We're going to do that ArchLinux Put that around as long. Yeah, those are the same symbols. Okay. That's the first line. That's kind of like our multi-lib extra core community. We're adding this repository. After that, we need to go down one more line, and this is where we will put capital SIG, capital L, EVEL, space equals do I need EVER, and then one beyond that, we need one more line. We need the actual server. How did they do that up there? // I may have to look this up. Is it fr dot repo, fr dot arch repo? I think that's it. Is this it? Is it it? Is it it? Control O, write it out. Control X to get out of editing the Pacman comps. Why we did this? There is, other than the repositories of core, extra, community, and multi-lib, and then also, as you can see from the file that we just edited, there is also the multi-library testing, community testing, and just the testing. We added the repository of the Arch user repository, and how, just like we install stuff with Pacman, we can install stuff from the Arch user repository with Yart. I don't know how they say it. YAOURT. Yet another user repository, I think, is how they do it. So now that we've added this stuff to the Pacman config file, we need to do we didn't do any upgrade yet, but what we're going to do is pacman space dash syy. And that's going to sync core extra community multi-lib. Hopefully, if I typed it right. We're hoping. And then that one there, and it did get it. So hopefully that means it's going to work. Okay, so pacman space dash SYAOURT. Oh, is it really not found? YA. So is there a different way I have to get this package now? YAOURT. How do we get it? There may be a different... That's the way you used to get it. Package not found. Well, we'll get the Arch user repository later. We will continue on. Also, utils is for adjusting the sound. Let's hit yes. While we're here, we'll flip over here and actually look up, see if it's got to still be a thing. I know they didn't give up. Let's see what they say for 2019. How the hell did he get it? Oh, use these alternatives. Okay. And this is from October 6, 2018. May 11, 16. How about... Is there anything current? So pacman front end. Not maintained anymore. Please choose another R helper. Alright, let's do it. Let's find an R helper. So this is what I'm talking about. If you do something in the past, and I did use the YOURT or YART, yeah, however you want to say it. I've used that in the past, but it's not maintained, meaning it's deprecated. So you got to find another one. Let's figure out. R helpers are not supported by Arch Linux. Should be manual build process. Please use R helpers. Git clone. Article git. Yeah. Clone optional written in bash. Pacman wrappers. Boy, I wonder what is recommended. Huh. Then they start reading about problems. Look at this. Warning, usage of graphical R helpers may lead to a defective system. For example, through unattended partial upgrades. Or publish other. Really? They actually called it RUA instead of AUR. And RUtils. Is that all we need? RUtils? Surely not. Okay, I'm missing something here. What are they telling us? Manual build process in order to be prepared to troubleshoot problems. Most R helpers can search for packages in the R to retrieve their package builds. Others additionally assist with the build and install process. Pacman only updates for pre-built packages in its repositories. R packages are redistributed in the form of package builds and need an R helper to automate the rebuild process. When it's shared, library dependencies are updated not only when the package itself is updated. Much fun. That's a whole mouthful. Search and download, search and build. I guess you would want all the, like all yeses would make sense. We're not going with anything graphical. Not that I don't trust it, but yeah. What's this other crap? Okay, so search and download. Search. RUtils, and I would have to say out of the search and download article get. Really? Or pbget. Pbget. I don't know. Before we start getting into the Arch user repository, which I don't know how much we need to get. I don't think. No, I think we can just use. No, because if we want to do what I'm trying to do, we need to get into the R at least for Compiz and Emerald, which is later on in this setup. But for now, I say we take it to a graphical desktop. And then I can just continue this later, possibly? I'm trying to think, I could always just boot into what are they called on a Mac? Single user mode, or is it single user mode on Linux too? Maybe. All right, I'm gonna take this over to. We're not doing the YAOURT because it is not maintained anymore, and I have to do reading on it. It was still maintained and very useful. It was actually kind of new the last time I actively used Arch Linux. So, moving on from that plan, we just got what? Also utils. Let's do ALSA MIXER. I'm going to hit that, and then we need to raise the master switch to full, which I can't see nothing, so let's transform this. Reset. Alright. HDA until boom boom boom. SPD off. F6. Select sound card. Exit. And we need to blow this up so I can see it. Okay, so tell me also mixer isn't used anymore. F5 all, F4 capture, F3 playback. We will do this later. It's not important. I'm just trying to set my sound. Escape, exit. Alright. We're getting there. And this is where we're going to install the... Still using Pac-Man. We're going to install our Xorg and everything that we need to get to a graphical user interface. We need the GUI, graphical user interface. We need a desktop environment and like a login manager. I think we're good to go. Anything other than that, I'm trying to think. I think Nitrogen is a program I'll need for setting wallpaper, because if we can't use Yart and I don't know how to proceed that route, I'm not going to get Compiz or Emerald from the R, because I'll explain it all in a different video. I just want to get this up to a graphical one for now. So let's do pacman s space xorg xorg-server. And this may be, if any of these packages have changed over time. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so which ones are massive failures since the last time I did this? Not for xorg server utils, xorg init. Okay, so let's delete 2 of those. Sure. We're gonna hit yay for yes. Yay for yes. Y for yes. Y for yay. Alright, let those few install. And then after these install, we have a couple more quick steps, and we should be able to boot this to where it's usable for your average person, at least to go, online and then install some other stuff, like possibly, I think a browser is one thing you're going to need, other stuff to be useful as a computer. And if you want to skip all this and not manually build your system, pick a distro. Manjaro, Fedora, Ubuntu, SUSE, OpenSUSE. Alright, so we're back there. We got that. Now we need to add 3D and 2D support, so Pacman. 3D support should be Mesa, and then we need XF86. I'm not using a graphics card, I'm using the graphics on the processor, so XF86 dash, is it video or Intel dash video? I think video dash INTEL. As long as none of these programs are deprecated, this should work. Yes. What I mean deprecated is no longer maintained, kind of like the Arch user repository wasn't maintained any longer. And I'm trying to think what else. We're gonna have a very, very basic system, but that's fine. Let's go with Pacman-S TTF-Deja Vu. That's just a font, so we have some type of font. I don't know any other fonts offhand. Let's also get what else can we get while we're here? We'll get TTF Deja Vu. We'll get our login manager. We're going to get TILDA if it's there, which is a pop-up terminal. Nitrogen would handle our wallpapers. I think Thunar is a file system. One that I liked, and I can't remember what else I need. I know there's what do I want to call it? We're going to need some kind of panel. We're also going to need, what would the name of that thing be? Like a dock or something. Some kind of dock. But we can probably get all that easy enough with XFCE4. That's the one I want to install, or possibly OpenBox. I'll decide when we get there, but let's do this for right now. And hit yes. Yes, do it. Go already. And you know what I didn't do? I think after that driver install, we needed to reboot, and I did not. But that's fine. We'll do it without rebooting. We'll let it get these. Another hole you'll find yourself in when building your own, Linux system is when you want to get a package, you need all the dependencies that go with it, and sometimes you run into conflicts, or this package is replaced by this one, so you need this one, but this one has a conflict with a couple other packages that you're trying, that are dependencies for the one package that you want to get. All kinds of fun you can run into, and that's why it's not mainstream like Mac OS or Windows. Not as mainstream, but it's fairly mainstream, more so now than in the early 2000s and the 90s. Much more. Alright, and we're back at our command prompt. Trying to decide, I did get Slim. I'm going to do a reboot. We're going to come back here. So let me transform this scene in OBS so we can see the whole screen. Reset the transform. We're going to reboot now. And enjoy a black screen for a moment. Damn, back up quick. I like it. Go. Alright, not so quick. Alright, let's log in as root again. Alright, we're logged in as root. We are going to, let's SU. And instead of root now, we are working as my user. What we want to do is take, and we need to copy a file, so cp /etc/us, is it user or user? USR, user. I gotta make this bigger, give me a moment. etc/user/dot XINIT RC. Little tilde, does it work? I got Slim. Let's hit up, backspace, tilde that again. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Right at the end, it's within reach. What did I screw up? Let's get back over here. See, it says it's missing the operand after. Put that, that means home. I don't think that's right. Yeah, exactly. Alright, let's do ls. We need to do some poking around. Oh. course, the window is not where I can see it. So it doesn't even exist yet. I wonder, is that the one that replaced it? Research, research. Can't let it fail now. We're going through with it, even if I have to look it up. Even if I have to look it up, we are going for it. You know what? I don't think we need that. Possibly we can. Possibly we'll have to get to it later. I think that's the old way of doing it. Let's move our window back. That's probably a process that got deprecated, something that got changed. I'm not gonna speculate as to what got changed, but we're just gonna go for SYSTEMCTL space ENABLE, because we did manage to get Slim. Password. Okay, so we got that. But we need to do it. So let's hit SU, type in our root password. We're working as root again. And we gotta delete, so this right here, same thing I already did, but I did it as my user. I want to do it as root, and what it's doing is Slim, the login manager. I am enabling it at boot, so we'll do that. We got Slim. Now we need what? We need some type of desktop environment, and this is, we don't have a file, so let's go ahead and do hackman space dash s xfce4. I hope that's still what they call it. Ha 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 ha. Oh, what is this? Oh, yeah, sure, let's do all. Just because I don't know it. And we'll hit Y for yes to install it. Oh, I hope it's not getting gnome. Did I not read that? Okay, just gnome themes, not gnome and gnome extra. Gnome, genome, gnome, however you want to say it. Okay, so we did that. I still don't think this is, if we don't have that file, and it's not the way it's done anymore. Let's try it again. Let's see if the command is there. Ah, my mistake. We need to do it as a user. So, su. Okay, we're as a user, so let's copy slash etc slash user slash dot x initrc tilde should be home. Alright, cp space dash dash help. Let's read. I don't think that's something we can do anymore. But as a user, man, oh.